But when you look at Gen Z
Yep.
versus Gen Z anywhere else, they're right there.
Mm.
They're at the same speed.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of opportunity here. Cambodia can really grow with. I know personally about 6 businesses in the last 2024 alone.
Yep.
That are international and want to set up here. They're in other countries.
So that will likely increase over the next couple
and
years.
these are just the ones I know.
Right.
3 of them I'm working with.
Right.
And there's a lot more. Because Cambodia is suddenly on everyone's radar because they're like, all right, we've sorted out Vietnam. We've sorted out the Philippines. We've sorted out, we're now in Malaysia. We're now, what is this country here?
Yeah.
And what's the potential? It's one of the fastest growing economies in this part of the world, if not the fastest.
Yeah.
And I think that is attracting not just businesses in order to make money, but also talent in order to learn something new and be somewhere where, this could be the new in thing. It could be the new it city.
Arun Susadai, Cambodia. Good morning, Cambodia. Good morning, friends all around the world. Welcome to the Good Morning Cambodia podcast. We are glad to be here with you, have you here with us. And I just want to let you know that we are alive and well. Good things are happening. It's a great time to be alive right here in the Kingdom of Cambodia. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to some engaging, insightful conversations, and we're privileged to have you as our friends and our guests wherever you are around the world, including our Bampa Khmer, Ruhno Krai Pratik today. Ruga Ruhno Kanang Sok Khmer today. We're also just privileged to have you with us, and privileged to have you with us as well, Ali Syed. And Ali, it's great to have you here with us. Ali, you're a lover of Cambodia. And Cambodia has been your home since 2018. I'm really looking forward to just jumping into some of your personal story, but also talking about what's going on in Cambodia and some of the amazing things that you're involved in. So, Ali, it's great to have you here. Looking forward to just having a nice cup of tea and a great conversation with you this morning.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure, really. Thank you. And yes, you're right. I am a lover of Cambodia. That's a surprise. I didn't know I would be. I came here on vacation.
Yeah.
Found myself a job and stayed and love it.
Yeah. And you're stuck in a good way, right?
I am, yes, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Stuck in a good way.
Yeah. That's so often what seems to happen. And, you're very involved in the community here, both the Cambodian community as well as the expat community. And so many of our friends, our colleagues here in town, that's oftentimes the story, isn't it? That, come for a visit, whether it's business or leisure, and then just something, and it's not even just initially only the commercial or business opportunities or economic opportunities, but it's in addition to that there's something here in Cambodia that gets into your heart.
That's true. I actually was looking to move out. I was living in the Middle East before this.
Yep.
And I was looking to move out, and I looked at a couple of countries, and I was vacationing in many spots like Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, Manila. I went to Jakarta, Hanoi, and Ho Chi Minh. And then I came to Cambodia. It was almost one of the last places on my list.
Right.
I thought I'd just visit.
If you have a bit of extra time, maybe you can stop by something like that.
I had a long holiday coming up.
Right.
So me and a couple of friends decided to come to Cambodia.
Yeah. And this was back in
2018.
2018, yeah.
And what I was looking to do, for them it was a vacation. What I was doing was I was going to every country and looking at the job market, just to see if something's available.
Yep.
Because my plan was to move out of the Middle East and into Southeast Asia. I wasn't entirely sure exactly where.
Yep.
My reasoning was more because I wanted to experience something maybe I wanted to experience a little bit of a culture shock. I'd never really lived in Asia. I'd traveled all over, never really lived there. And I wanted to experience something that's culturally very different. And if I'm being honest, I wanted to slow my life down a little bit, have a little bit of time to myself.
Right.
And I, just through reputation, I know that a lot of Southeast Asia, except for cities like Singapore, does allow you to do that, and that's not in a bad way.
A little bit of a different pace.
A little bit of a different pace.
Yeah, that's right.
Not in a bad way, but in a way where you can have, I hate to use the phrase work-life balance, but you can have a little bit of balance where you can take some time, get home before the sun sets. That's one of my main priorities, getting home while the sun's still out.
Right.
So I can see the day change instead of, just being at home when it's night, and that nighttime is my time at home. Right.
So that was back in 2018. So maybe talk a little bit about who is Ali, and what does your life look like now here in 2024?
So I work for a company. My day job is I work for a company called Sabai, which is a content company. We create a lot of Khmer language content targeted at Gen Z and young millennials, lifestyle, entertainment, sports. So I am the director of business, director of commercial business there. I work alongside the CEO. And I've been doing that. I actually joined Sabai as a creative director 6 years ago. And we've sort of changed the course of how the company is run. It was a different company then. Not entirely different, but we were still in the same, but it was viewed differently. COVID happened. A lot of things have happened, and we've had to change how we do business.
And you coming in 6 years ago brought some very essential new kind of directions, flavors. I know you're not going to take all the credit for yourself, but you did bring something in, and that pertains to some of your life story and all that as well, which we're going to get into a bit later as well.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I wouldn't say it was new. What I would think is it was a directional change, which I'm not a genius. It's just that I've been in other markets before where I've seen the same sort of trajectory. Of not just media, but the entire business atmosphere changing. And so I was able to use some of that and just ask questions.
Interesting. So if you were to describe yourself, Ali, how would you describe yourself? Who is Ali?
Well, I'm a writer first. I've always been a writer. I've been writing since I was a kid. Most of my first jobs were so I've worked in the ad industry all my life. I started as a copywriter. I went to school for writing. I went to university. After that, I did another writing degree in screenwriting for film. And then I moved into the ad industry. I've been a writer all my life. Moved eventually into directing TV commercials and short films and things like that. But even over here at Sabai, a lot of my work is in writing. I write everything from business reports to pitch documents. That's my strength in telling a story. I've always been better than other people at doing that, or I've always been able to take other people's sort of general big picture thing and turn it into some sort of sense, I'd like to think.
So that's kind of been your talent, and that's been your career for all of these years. You were born in Europe, in Germany, to parents of
Pakistani and Syrian descent.
Born in Germany, and then I know you and I have talked, and you've spent a fair amount of time in Europe. You've spent time in the Middle East. You've spent time in the States.
And East Africa as well. Raised in Tanzania and Kenya.
But this writing talent has always been kind of one of the ways that you see the world. And
I think it's I don't want to call it a talent. I've honed it and I've studied it very deeply.
Yes.
So I don't think it's a it's just something that was
not natural only.
natural only.
It's
like I
been
had
your
to work.
focus.
Yeah, it's been my focus. I had to work at it.
Yeah.
And it's becoming increasingly. I thought it would become increasingly difficult because, you know, everything was moving to people not reading anymore. But I think writing is still needed pre-video. Like when you actually publish a video, it has to be scripted. It has to be written.
Yep.
Business documents are written.
Yep.
And, you know, because of that, because I can write and because I can turn things into a sort of seamless flow, I guess I've managed to do all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So you came here for a visit in 2018.
Correct.
And you've been here ever since then.
Yeah, I came here in 2018 June. I met a few people here and there. Someone offered me a job, and I got that job, and I didn't like it. And then I was ready to leave. You know, I'd done a bunch of interviews. There was a job that I took, didn't like it, not going to name them. But I was ready to leave, and I had booked my ticket back to, this was 3 months in, I booked my ticket back to the Middle East. I was like, I'm just going to move to Dubai for a bit and then probably move to Cairo. And then I was sitting in a pub, and I met a gentleman who I started talking to, who told me that he has a nephew who works for a company who weirdly is looking for someone like you. So I wrote my phone number on a paper napkin. And a few days later, this guy called me. And he was like, come and visit our office. So I went there. A week later, I had canceled my flight and I was there, and that was Dubai. I'm still there.
Wow, incredible. So, you know, to me, this is interesting, and I believe this could be, you know, to some folks, it could be eye-opening to a degree as well. That you know, you're international, you're a global citizen. You've spent, you know, you have a great career, and you could come to a place like Cambodia, and you could find not just viable employment, but you actually, you know, jumped right into the middle of a significant business and have been growing that business together with, of course, you know, the CEO and the team as well. I think sometimes there's a perception that, you know, in Cambodia, is there anything available for someone of your caliber? You know, maybe Cambodia wouldn't have anything available for people, you know, of a certain caliber. And that's not been your experience. You've been able to not only just find, it's not just viable employment, because you're part of the leadership of Sabai Digital now, and you're part of the core team there. You found a place where all of your decades of you know, of your career could really make a difference, as well as, you know, continue to earn a viable living here.
That's true. I mean, just first off, I think I have been very fortunate. That is very true. You know, it's not just viable, and, you know, there's caliber is defined very vaguely, but I think I have been very fortunate. I have met some good people. Being at that pub that night in 2018, September or October, was just, you know, me getting ready to leave Cambodia. So there is good fortune there. However, yes, I think Cambodia is kind of open to welcoming people. Cambodia is open to letting people teach their own how to do things better if things aren't working. Cambodia is ripe with its own talent, but is also open to international talent coming in. I think 2018 was a great time to come in, because it was early. There's a lot more people coming in now. I know a lot of people that left during COVID. A lot of people that have been here for a very long time. And probably thought, this is not going to work out. And then I'd have contact with them, and they're like, "We're stuck at home," and I'm like, "I'm out in the market."
Yeah, we're enjoying life here in
we're
Cambodia
enjoying
during
life here.
COVID.
Not
Yeah.
that COVID wasn't here, but just that it was not, because people take precautions very seriously,
Yeah.
which I really respect.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I loved that about it here. People just wearing a mask
Yep. Yep.
because it's such a simple thing to do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So after that, Cambodia, on its sort of uptick since 2022, I would say, there's been a new sort of breed of people coming in.
Yep.
Entirely new generation of people coming in,
Yep.
and it's really picking up.
Yep.
I think Cambodia works really well in terms of for people to attract international talent, in terms of people coming in and doing something for themselves, doing something for the community,
Yeah.
and having a good time while they're doing it.
And that's key, and that's what maybe I'd like you to tell our friends a bit more, because I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of people that just aren't familiar with our country here.
Yeah.
And so when they think about Cambodia, they think, so are you living in a thatch hut out in the rice fields, doing some kind of little farming there? Is that what you're doing in Cambodia? And for them to realize that, no, you can bring your skill set to Cambodia. It will be appreciated, and you can do some great things for the country, and you can still have a very nice lifestyle here as well. You can do all of the above there in Cambodia. And no, we're not living in thatch huts and planting vegetables behind the house. You can choose to do that, of course, if you want, but there's a lot of other options available as well.
You're right. I think I have received questions like that, and I'll take you back a little bit. In 1998, when I first moved to New York, and they asked me where I was living before that, I told them I was living in the Middle East, in Dubai, and they'd never heard of it. This was 98.
Where's Dubai? Yeah.
Where's Dubai? It wasn't there on the map. And when I explained it to them, I had to give them I'm like, Gulf War? They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's around there. They're like, so it's war torn. I'm like, no, Dubai is not war torn.
Yeah.
They're like, so do you have automobiles? I said, yeah, we do. We have really good ones.
Yeah. We don't just ride camels.
But it was 1998.
Right.
So even though I was even though I was a bit peeved about that back then,
Yep.
I understood that they had no access.
Yeah.
People today have access to information.
Yes.
They have access to the internet. They're always on YouTube.
Yep.
So Cambodia is so much more than just, say, the Angkor Wat.
Right. Which is amazing, of course.
Which is amazing.
Yep.
But there's so much more to it. There are beaches. There's the bustling city. There's mountains. There's amazing locales here. So when people do look at it a little bit as, unknown, wild west kind
Yep.
of, is it something, do people speak English? Do you get to eat a pizza? I've had questions like that,
yeah.
And they're like, do you have air conditioning?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we have all of that. It's a city. It's pretty normal, and you can pretty much find that anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Now, there's very few places, like we're not living in the rainforest in the Amazon.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think it's important for people to sort of look at research information.
Yep.
But also be a little bit more open-minded about things that are happening, and it's not just what people think the developed world is.
Yeah.
Where you have skyscrapers and air conditioning and cars.
Yeah. 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 Everything is available here in Cambodia. Whatever type of lifestyle one would want, it's
Correct.
all available.
Yeah.
And that's a nice positive progression of the country. I arrived here in 1995, and that wasn't necessarily the story back then.
Yeah.
I remember the first house that was at. I bought a refrigerator, which you do, and I bought blocks of ice every morning to put in the refrigerator to keep it cool for when the electricity went off.
Right.
That was a bit roughing it back then. And, the country has progressed and will continue to progress very well. And as far as, lifestyle and all that, everything anyone could want is available here in Phnom Penh in particular, but really throughout the country as well.
I think that's a very interesting thing you bring about, because you're talking about essentially 30 years ago, 29, 30 years ago. The places where you and I were living were not like that.
Yeah.
But Phnom Penh now is just where any other place is.
Yep.
So I think that's that's a feather in the cap to the growth, to the steady
Yes.
and very quick growth of this country, of the city.
30 years is a short time from literally back then, what I remember, 5 paved roads, 5 sealed roads in the whole city, no working traffic lights, electricity was off more than it was on.
Yeah.
There wasn't much here.
I've heard there wasn't anything beyond Manivong.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was quiet. I mean, where we're at right now was village, it was village life. And so 30 years is a very short time. And of course, you and I live here in Phnom Penh, but really across the country as well.
Yeah.
Very positive transformation and development across the country.
That's right.
But Ali, you could be really anywhere in the world. You could be, you mentioned Dubai, you mentioned New York, you mentioned, Europe, you mentioned Africa. You could be anywhere in the world, including, any of the big cities or other destinations here in Southeast Asia or even Asia. You told a little bit about how you first got into Cambodia and how you were fortunate to that some things kind of fell into place and it worked out well. But, from that point, from 2018 until now, you've still had the choice to be anywhere in the world. You could be living, you could be working, business, whatever you want to do, anywhere in the world. Why, not just why did you come to Cambodia? We kind of went through that a little bit, but why Cambodia still? And what's the sticking point to Cambodia since 2018 till now?
So, my initial plan was to be here for a couple of years and then move out.
Yep.
That didn't work out because of COVID.
Right.
So at that point, I felt stuck.
Sure.
But so I'm talking about mid 2020, I felt I was stuck, not in the worst way. I was stuck in a pretty decent place.
The initial plan was just maybe a couple of years. So 2020 was when you were thinking, maybe move on, and then obviously that's not feasible during that time. Yeah.
It wasn't feasible, and it wasn't feasible for 2021 was really when COVID sort of became a thing here. Mm-hmm. If you remember, that's when we had a few lockdowns and everything.
We had the nightclub incident.
Correct. Yeah. So at that time, even then, I don't think I was particularly depressed or anything. I was just like, this is what it is, and I will look at things once this eases up. And the reason I thought that was because I have family all over the world. I'm one of 7 siblings, and we all live in different countries, every single one of us. It's very difficult for us to. And I was speaking to them, I was speaking to my dad, and everybody was going through some stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't
whereas
easy.
I was kind of in an okay place. Right? And then eventually I realized that I quite like it here.
Yep.
Once the time came for COVID to lift, for COVID restrictions to be lifted, I realized that things aren't that bad here.
Yeah.
I like what I'm doing here. I like my job.
Yep.
I like a lot of the connections I've made. I like, personally and professionally.
Yep.
I started up until 2018 to 2020, my first couple of years, I was not very social.
Yep.
I didn't have any friends. So it was kind of a difficult time for me.
Right.
After that, I've managed to really change that. I've gotten involved with the community. I do a lot of trainings and workshops. So professionally and personally,
yeah,
a lot of things have been working out. I also had to make the effort. I don't think I was making the effort when I first got here. I was just like, I'm just going to do this for 2 years.
You got
There's
in
no
2
problem.
years, focused on what you're doing at Sabai Digital.
Exactly. There's no point making, getting involved with people. There's no point making friends,
Right.
at least not close friends.
Right.
There's no point getting attached to anyone.
Yep.
So there was that. This is of course a personal story, right? It's got.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think that's everybody's experience.
Yeah.
But because my plan was short,
that was your
in my
focus
head,
and your intentions.
my focus
at that
was
time.
I'm just going to work for a couple of years, do my, have a little thing on my checklist that says lived in Cambodia.
Yep. And a little bit of a slowed down pace, possibly.
Slowed down pace. Not that I wanted to move anywhere back to. My original plan was to move to Tanzania after Cambodia.
Yep.
That's another slow place.
But
that was part of my plan.
Right.
I've got a lot of family there.
Yep.
But that I didn't do. Tanzania was just terrible during COVID. They completely denied that it existed. Their president died of COVID, denying that it existed. It was
that's a bit messy. Yeah.
So eventually, during COVID, during COVID, meaning during that 2.5 year period, I built friendships, relationships, and partnerships.
Yep.
That really meant something and made me look at Cambodia as a place that I can call home. So I had to sort of realign my thought and my vision.
Yep.
And that's how I was like, I can work here, I can live here, I can do most of the things that I like doing.
Yeah.
Plus I have friends.
Yeah.
So why not consider it home?
Yeah.
I think I spent the first few years in a transitional phase. I'm like, this is just a phase.
Yeah,
I just need to, I remember I didn't, I used to have I was living in a hotel for 8 months when I first got here. Because I living out of a suitcase. I could get an apartment. I just wasn't in the mood. I'm like, I don't want to settle.
Right. Yeah.
So I would buy like small jars of Nutella.
Yeah.
Small, portion size of butter.
Yeah.
Or something. Just not,
Yeah.
But that has changed.
Yeah. So now that Cambodia is home, what does, and I know you've gone through some of these things, and you have, of course, Sabai Digital, but you also mentioned, you're involved in training. I know there's a whole music band component to this as well. What does life look like for you now that Cambodia has been home for the last many years now?
So the thing I like about being here is I get to do a lot of other things.
Yeah.
During COVID, one of the things I did was there was a group called the Angkor 500, which is part of this 500 global companies. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But they were looking for people that know a little bit about marketing and that can do trainings on Zoom.
Okay, cool.
And I had realized that, hey, I can do this. I can put a deck together and I can train people and I can tell them something. And I started doing a couple of these just to sort of, it's not that I had a job, but, during COVID, we were working from home. So I had a lot of time.
Right. Yeah.
So I started doing a couple of these. That led to some people getting to know me. And then once people were meeting again, they started hosting live workshops.
Yep.
And so I got involved in these and I realized that, I can train people.
What are the trainings focused on?
So I focused on two key areas.
Yep.
One is the marketing and branding kind of thing, how to think, think of a brand.
Yep.
And how to sort of think of marketing beyond just, I wrote a social media post.
Yep.
And the other thing, sounds a little douchey, but generative AI. And I don't call myself an expert. I call myself an enthusiast. I'm a very early adopter in most of those. So what I train people on is not how to use ChatGPT, but it's how to use various generative AI tools in a more effective and responsible manner, but also to understand what goes behind building those tools and why you're getting the results you're getting. And if you're frustrated with them, what to do to fix it.
Yep.
If they sound like everybody else's results, it's because of the inputs. So I focus a lot on how to engineer prompts, on how to get detailed things, and I teach them the differences between things like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and all of those.
And so in these trainings, the trainees are mostly locals here in Cambodia?
I get a lot of locals and some expats as well.
Some expats as well, yeah.
So I the way I train is I work with a couple of different capacity building companies.
Yep.
And they have my profile. So if they have anything come up. So they give me like maybe 1, 2, 3 maximum in a year.
Yeah.
Because it takes me a couple of months to prepare each one, because it's a 2-day workshop.
Right.
And it's like a boot camp, right?
Yep.
So I have to prep for that. And I've got one coming up later this month. And so these are all like, they're all professionals.
Yep.
And they come from different companies, and I train them, and I work with them for 2 days straight,
Cool.
8 hours each day.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what else has ended up on your plate kind of as you've made Cambodia home? Of course, you have, the Angkor 500 trainings and some of the other entities as well. You have, of course, everything that you do at Sabai Digital. What else has kind of ended up on your plate with your life being here?
So I do. I have a band.
Yeah.
And we're.
This wasn't part of the original plan when you showed up in 2018.
No. I met someone at a pub.
Yep.
And I was having a chat with her, and she said, who really like you? My husband. And she texted her husband, and he came, and we became friends.
Yeah.
And he's the drummer in our band. And we have, we're just a 3-piece band, just make a lot of noise. I also DJ.
Yeah.
I'm an electronic music, I play at underground venues in Phnom Penh about once every couple of weeks.
Really?
Do a late night 1 to 4, like graveyard shift.
Yeah.
With just people that actually like a very specific genre of music.
Yeah.
And that's, and I can do that on a Friday or Saturday and still have a relaxed time.
Yep.
And these are things that, it's very hard to get done in other countries. The music thing, for example, you can't, like in the Middle East, you need to have, I can't just perform anywhere. I have to have a license. I have to apply for a license and pay a fee every year to be to be a performer. Whereas here it's just like, can you play? Yeah, I can play. Yeah. It's just go for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Does your band have a name? You guys have a name?
Yeah, we're called the Stuffs.
The Stuffs.
That's correct. Yeah.
What is that all about?
It was a very I threw out like on a Telegram group. I threw out a bunch of names and we voted. It doesn't really mean anything. We're just because we're all over the place. So we're just a cover band. We don't we all have day jobs. And we do this for fun. We're also all in our 40s and grew up listening to sort of post-punk alternative in the 90s. But also we have one of our band members, he grew up listening to a lot of country music. Another guy grew up listening to a lot of punk. Me, because of my mom, grew up listening to a lot of disco, which is also why I'm a DJ.
Right.
A lot of my, it's just house music. So a lot of I love 80s synth pop. So we do a lot of sort of punk covers of 80s music.
Yeah. And so you have a drummer,
a bass player,
and
me. I play guitars.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's good fun. That's good fun. I think like what you mentioned when you showed up in 2018. Okay, Phnom Penh's a big city. It's not the biggest, but it's a million plus here, and it takes a little while to figure out what's going on, who's who, where are things at, where do you, if you want to jump in, where do you jump in? Once you do kind of jump into the community here, and that could be the expat community, that could be the local community, it could be both, hopefully at least, you realize that we have somewhat of a small town feel still. And I tried to, I guess, maybe kind of put conditions on that phrase, because there's still plenty of big city stuff, and there's always all these hidden gems that neither you or I were aware of, and we can come across almost every day sometimes, and people and places and all that. But at the same time, here in Phnom Penh, and even more so in other areas of Cambodia, there's still somewhat of kind of a small town feeling as well, which is very nice.
I think it's you're right. That small town feeling is actually, I think there's an advantage to it. First of all, traffic is not a big thing here. It's not huge. You
That's
can
right.
get from one end of the city to the other if you're stuck in traffic in 45 minutes. Second, what that small town thing makes you feel is that even though the city is bustling, you get to a lot of people,
Yeah.
right? It's you go around. I hardly go anywhere where I don't meet someone.
That's
Run
one
into
of the
people
things
all
that's
the
me.
time.
Yeah, you in your daily routine,
Yeah.
you're gonna bump into somebody
people
that
and-
you're acquainted with, whatever.
Yeah, and they're not just business people. Some of them are other musicians. Some of them are people I've met at other bars.
Yeah.
And it's there's that. There's also what this rents are really good.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty affordable city.
Yep.
It's not crazy expensive.
No.
I don't think it's the cheapest city in Southeast Asia, but
No.
it's fairly affordable. If you find yourself a job and you're living, you can have a good life. You can have most houses are pet friendly as well.
Yep. Yep.
So if you're into that, that's not something you get in the Middle East. It's not very pet friendly. They're not pet friendly countries
Interesting.
in general.
Yeah.
Because Muslims don't like dogs.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? And I get it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so if you want to have a dog or something, you got to live in a very specific community. Whereas here, rents are fairly affordable.
Yep.
You get nice big houses.
Yep.
You do have to you can't expect the sort of finishings that you can expect in a big city like London or New York or Paris or Dubai or
Right.
anywhere, right? So the if you can get that, but you won't get it as much, and you have to pay quite a high premium.
They're
to get
here, but you have to search for them a
You have
bit.
to search for them.
And I
quite a
always
bit.
say, sorry to interrupt, but I always say here in Cambodia, like I think I mentioned a bit earlier, everything is available. You do have to do a little bit of searching for it sometimes.
That is correct.
But it's all available.
I think
Yeah.
it's all available. I think
Yeah.
I think you also have to understand that it is, if your life needs to slow down, that means all life is generally slowed down. So if you come here, I was very impatient when I first came here.
Yep.
And I think if I look at it now, I was a bit of a jerk. Not to anyone.
Yeah.
I don't think I was a jerk towards anyone, but I was a bit of a jerk in my head, expecting that, I can slow my life down, but everything else should come to me really, really quickly, just how I'm used to it.
Right.
And I think that was a bit of, I had to sort of let that sink in and understand that no, things, it's still a very new country when you look at it, right? It's
Yeah.
in, yes, we can go back to 800, 900 years ago, but let's be realistic. It's a very new country in its current form.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And so there is that. I think it's a great place to sort of, it's got that small town feel,
Yep.
but the opportunities and the potential
Yes.
are very, very big city.
Yeah, that's right. Talk about maybe a little bit about as a non-Cambodian, were you welcomed here by the local community? And you did mention a bit about the receptivity to what you were able to bring to the table professionally as well. And so, what has that been like with the local Cambodian community? Seeing you, working with you, accepting you, interacting with you as a foreigner, as a non-Cambodian.
I think, when I first came here, I was welcomed very much at work.
Yep.
I was very slow to make some friends,
Yeah.
but the friends I made that was my fault, right? But the friends I made were very welcoming, very open.
Yeah. And you're talking about not just expat friends, but
No,
the
I'm
locals.
talking about local friends.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
made a few local friends.
Yep.
Still my friends, and they're I made these friends. People have been very nice to me in Cambodia in general.
Yep.
In fact, in my 6 years here, I've probably had 2 altercations with people, and they were not with Cambodians. So it's and these weren't like physical fist fights or anything.
Right,
They were
right.
just real
Fallouts or
fallouts.
something. Yeah, yeah.
But in general, I think people are very welcoming here. I think people are looking. I sometimes find I get respect for just being a foreigner, which I think is a little unfair. And I wish people would give me respect because I actually deserve it.
Right, right.
And I'd like to earn it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think but that also means that they're very interested in you. They're very interested in listening to your experiences. They're very open to learning.
Yep.
And they love it if you give their language a try or their food a try.
Of course.
Obviously, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not. I have Cambodian friends, but I'm beyond. I've gone to their weddings. I've been to I've engaged a lot. I work with almost all Khmer people.
Yeah.
Where I work, and it's always been really charming.
Yeah.
To have people come up to me, even at networking events. I go to a lot of networking events. There's a lot that happen here. So
there's a lot of networking
there's a
events
lot of
here. If
networking
you're a
events.
professional, there's a lot of networking events.
There's a lot of good ones as well.
Yeah.
So I'm always I like not just my neighbors. I like my landlords, and they've always been Khmer. I've always had a good time with. Like I've been very fortunate. I know people might make horror stories up or actually have horror stories. I've always been very fortunate. I've had good landlords all throughout.
Yep. Yep.
And I've lived in 6 different places in 6
Yep.
years. Well, 5 different places. Yeah. Always had a good time. People have been very nice.
Yep.
Neighbors have been very nice.
Yeah.
So for the most part, I really like the people here.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think anyone that has spent any amount of time here would register with that as well. Maybe as we finish up here, Ali, maybe 2 things. One, what would be something, and maybe you already mentioned a couple things, but what would be something that our viewers would not be aware of about Cambodia? Some kind of hidden gem, hidden secret that maybe not everyone is familiar with. You mentioned about interesting point about many of the housing being pet friendly and all that. That is unique. But if you can think of one more, share that, and then maybe just talk about where you see Cambodia. Not just as a people and a culture. I think we've talked quite a bit about that, but business, economic development over the next couple years. What do you see Cambodia is going to look like over the next couple years?
Okay, so in terms of hidden secrets, I think what a lot of people don't realize is that Cambodia has some beautiful nature trails. There's amazing nature here. You go to the mountains, Ratnakiri, Mandulkiri, go to the Cardamom Mountains out west.
Yep.
But there's actually, according to some research I did, there's about 13 species that are just native to species of animals that are just native to Cambodia. There's sun bear. So if you're into wildlife and hiking trails, they're very, very nice here. There's surprises here that you will see. There's beyond. Cambodia is beyond Siem Reap, Phnom Penh, and maybe two of the islands that people consider.
Right.
There's a lot. There's about 25 different islands. I've been to quite a few of them.
Yep. 25
islands that you can access. I think Cambodia itself has over 60 islands.
Right.
Spread across 25 that you can access. I've been to quite a few of them. There's life out there. You can go to the villages. Get out of Phnom Penh. Go over to Silk Island.
Yeah.
Beautiful. There used to be a stable. There used to be a set of stables there.
Yeah.
Where you could like rent a horse and
Yeah.
go for a horse ride. There's plenty of stuff to do in the city. There's plenty of what people don't understand is international cuisine.
Yep.
Great here. You can find all kinds of food, all kinds of different cuisines
Yeah.
going around everywhere. It's not just French cuisine and pizza and things like that. You can find Indonesian cuisine and Malaysian cuisine and everything.
Yeah.
Plus, there's what a lot of people will find surprising when they first get here and they don't talk about enough is actually the infrastructure is pretty good. The city is set up like a modern city and was set up like this decades ago.
Right.
The way the blocks are divided, like it was planned out really well. I don't think people get enough credit for that. I don't think the city gets enough credit because I've lived in some very busy cities that you look at it, you're like, there's no plan. There was no plan, and then it just grew.
Right.
And I think getting around in Phnom Penh
Yep.
is very easy. You can getting transportation. Tuk-tuks are everywhere. Cars. You can rent a motorbike. You can walk. I walk to most places. I set my life up in such a way that I can either walk to a place or the tuk-tuk is 10 minutes.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
So I don't go anywhere in between or anywhere beyond.
Right.
But that's because of the things I like to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I can usually walk within where I live within a 10-minute walk radius. I don't know how much that is in kilometers or miles.
Yeah.
But it's about 6 blocks either way.
Yep.
And those blocks are the same size everywhere. You don't get that everywhere. You don't get that in London. You get it in certain parts of New York, but you don't get it all over because New York is spread that way.
Right.
I think city planning and infrastructure, the bridges, the way they're building new bridges to access the south of the city, all of that, I think that's great.
That's awesome. What's Cambodia gonna be like, feel like here in the next couple of years, you reckon?
So I find the current youth of Cambodia to be really, really progressive, to be really, really ambitious, and very much into doing something really life-changing.
They want to do something of significance.
They want to do something of significance, right? And I know that, generally there's a lot of jokes going on about Gen Z that they just want to watch YouTube and be influencers. But that's not always true. First of all, let's look at the world that we've built for them.
Yeah.
But also, I find that the youth here are really on the cusp of breaking out and doing something really significant. We need to encourage them because we need to encourage them and empower them because they will take Cambodia beyond, because they have the vision. They don't have they don't think like their parents do. They don't think like their grandparents do. They're not thinking within just cultural boundaries. That doesn't mean they're overstepping.
Right.
It just means that they're thinking internationally.
Right.
I think when we say we've given them access to the internet and access to the world, there is good that's come from it because they're looking at something and they're learning. I find a lot of the youth being good communicators, which is needed, especially when you're inviting international talent in.
Yeah. Would you say that many of them, because of access to the internet and all that, as well as their travels and education, that they are a bit globally minded to a degree?
I think they're a bit globally minded. I think they want to be something that means something. They want to be someone that means something eventually. And when you look at my only thing is that when you look at, let's say, millennials and Gen X in other countries and compare them to Cambodians, there's a difference. But when you look at Gen Z versus Gen Z anywhere else, they're right there. They're the same speed.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of opportunity here. Cambodia can really grow with. I know personally about 6 businesses in the last 2024 alone
Yep.
that are international and want to set up here. That are in other countries.
So that will likely increase
That
over the
will,
next couple
and
of
these
years.
are just the ones I know.
Right.
3 of them I'm working with,
Right.
and there's a lot more because
Yeah.
Cambodia is suddenly on everyone's radar because they're like, all right, we've sorted out Vietnam, we sorted out the Philippines, we've sorted out. We're now in Malaysia. We're now. What is this country here?
Yeah.
And what's the potential? It's
Yeah.
one of the fastest growing economies in this part of the world,
Yeah.
if not the fastest.
Yeah.
And I think that is attracting not just businesses in order to make money, but also talent in order to learn something new and be somewhere where, this could be the new in thing. It
Yeah.
could be the new it city.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome, Ali. Ali, in closing, what's your invitation to our friends around the world? Some have not even familiar with Cambodia, so I'm sure today's been eye-opening. Some maybe have never had the chance to even visit. Some maybe their visits were a long, long time ago, and others are, interested in whether professional or business opportunities. What's your invitation to our friends around the world?
I think Cambodia will surprise you in a pleasant, very pleasant way. And I think you should really give it a shot. Come here, travel around. Don't just be in Phnom Penh. Travel around the city. I've got a couple of friends coming in around New Year's, probably going to go to Kampot with them, introduce them to a lot of things. And, it's bustling with energy and it's right there. And I think it needs to be enjoyed and absorbed.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you, Ali. It was a great conversation, great dialogue here. And to all of our friends around the world, we do hope that you will visit our wonderful nation of Cambodia. Come explore, come inquire. We're your friends here in Cambodia. And we're looking forward to talking to you again next time right here on Good Morning Cambodia សូមជម្រាបលាលោកអ្នកបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាយើងនឹងជួបគ្នាក្នុងពេលឆាប់ៗខាងមុខ